Hello and welcome to the ScatterVolt channel, and today I want to finally show you guys my personal $2,500 gaming PC and gaming peripheral setup that I use on a daily basis. First off, thank you for joining me for the first ScatterVolt video of 2019. I've got a little update video coming out very soon detailing the future of the channel and CES 2019, so stay subscribed for that. Anyways, moving on to the video, behind me here is my personal gaming setup, and what you don't see in most of my videos are the snazzy gaming peripherals that I shamefully shoved behind my chair, and more importantly, my personal PC gaming monster I've got here to, I believe, your bottom left, called BlackHawk, also known as the big chungus of gaming PCs. So in this video, I thought it'd be cool to open up and show you guys the guts inside BlackHawk, how well my favorite games play on it, and how my gaming peripherals help aid in the overall PC gaming experience. So if you like this kind of video, then you might enjoy becoming a part of the ScatterVolt Discord server, where we talk lots about budget PC tech and do a really cool monthly Discord-wide build competition called Super Smash Builds. Anyways, let's get into the video. So I figured all of you are really eager to know what's inside my personal gaming PC, BlackHawk, which is why I'm going to start with the gaming peripherals that I use. For the record, I'm weird, and my favorite gaming switch to use on a gaming keyboard are actually Logitech Roamer G switches. However, I don't have one in my possession currently, so my second choice I go to are always Cherry MX Reds, which are found in this stylish Mionix Way RGB mechanical gaming keyboard. So as you can see, this gaming keyboard is marketed a bit more towards creatives with its interesting candy colored aesthetic, but that doesn't mean that it still isn't a kick-ass gaming keyboard. I've owned this keyboard for probably about 6 months, and it has taken a beating, and yet still holds that same soft matte plastic finish that it's had since day one. Despite its minimal looks, the Mionix Way can hold its ground in intense PC gaming for sure. Just like the keyboard, don't underestimate my cute looking mouse, because it's actually a Mionix Castor with a pink paint job. I got really hyped whenever Mionix offered to send me this mouse, since it mainly was dubbed as the best gaming mouse a lot on YouTube, and 6 months later I can firmly say that its pink paint job still holds up well. Oh yeah, and it still kicks butt in FPS games with its PMW3310 sensor. While I'm not a gaming mouse expert, I will vouch that unlike my other mouse favorites like the Corsair Saber and Cougar Revenger, you can flick pretty well on the Mionix Castor, which is always a really great choice whenever I'm in CSGO when nailing those quick headshots. And of course, I can't forget about that dope looking Mionix mousepad that goes along with the keyboard and mouse for that super appealing candy aesthetic that really catched my attention in the first place. Before we get to the headset, I want to quickly touch on my monitor choice. Now, in my actual setup behind me, I have two LG 24UD58 4K monitors. However, in order to actually display BlackHawk, since it's so freaking big, it won't actually fit on this desk, which I can use to hook up my monitors to. So that's why in place for it, I have the BenQ EL2870U 4K 28-inch gaming monitor. Now, yes, this is your standard 4K monitor with AMD FreeSync, a 1 millisecond response time, with a bunch of premium features, but what's unique about the EL2870U is that it has built-in emulated HDR technology, which for a $400 monitor is actually rare. And that's awesome for one of my favorite PC games called Forza Horizon 4, since it's HDR compatible. And now, finishing off with the gaming peripherals, I've got hands down the most durable gaming headset I have ever used, that being the Corsair Void Pro 7.1 RGB wireless gaming headset. I've used this headset for well over a year, and it has survived so much abuse, yet it still works. Even more so, I can comfortably step outside my room here in my kitchen area while listening to music from the headset wirelessly without having any disruptions from my computer right here. For $80, I actually highly recommend this headset, even though, yeah, the microphone quality is meh and the audio quality is average. It's just withstood so much, which is why I highly recommend it. So those are the gaming peripherals that I like to use on a daily basis. But now, let's let's talk about the beast that they're hooked up to. BlackHawk, my personal $1,900 gaming PC. If you're into PC parts galore, then this part is for you. At the heart of BlackHawk is the Ryzen 7 1700X overclocked at 3.9 GHz, cooled by an FSP Windale 6 CPU cooler, which for $40 I believe is pretty underrated. I bought my 1700X the day it came out back in April of 2017 because that's how much hype I had behind AMD finally releasing a new lineup of desktop CPUs. If you're wondering, I do have plans to upgrade the CPU considering that the next generation of Ryzen CPUs could be going up to 16 cores, boasting 5.0 GHz plus speeds, all in a small 7nm die size, which sounds way too good to be true, but it's AMD and they're being savages right now, so I'll definitely be jumping on that Ryzen 3rd gen hype train. Now for my motherboard, I've got the MSI X370 M7 ACK. Besides the X370 badge for overclocking, I chose the M7 ACK because it includes a dedicated Wi-Fi card, which just removed the hassle of having to buy my own Wi-Fi card. It's also got a stealthy black appearance, which goes along great with the color scheme of BlackHawk. We also can't forget about my 32GB of Trident Z RGB RAM running at 2933 MHz, even though it's advertised at 3200 MHz. Sorry guys, but if I try 3200 MHz, then my system actually like dies in front of me, so at the moment I'm stuck at 2933 MHz. For some other notable parts, I got an 850 watt Thermaltake Tough Power RGB 80 Plus Gold power supply sporting some rainbow colored cable sleeves. Why rainbow, you may ask? Well, I wanted something unique besides a single plain color, so I went with it. Plus, I think it adds a nice little contrast to the overall stealthy black appearance of BlackHawk mixed with the RGB lighting. There's also, of course, the obvious ginormous Phoenix Shogun PC case sporting dual tempered glass side panels coated in a black paint job along with some white LED Beat Phoenix fans for some airflow. And finishing off, as you can see, my personal graphics card of choice is the Radeon RX Vega 56. This graphics card features 8GB of super dense HBM2 RAM, which ain't your normal GDDR6 or GDDR5 RAM that you find on most other cards, along with a sky-high computed unit count of 56. For reference, the RX 56 I showed in my last PC build video had 16 computed units, so yeah, the Vega 56 is a beast of an AMD card. I bought this graphics card in the fall of 2017 before the cryptocurrency mining apocalypse, where I could have sold it for well over $800 when Ethereum and Monero were really popular, but I chose not to because I really enjoyed playing my personal favorite PC games on it, which you'll see why very soon. Alright, so you know the gaming peripherals and the gaming PC behind the ScatterVolt channel, and now it's time to show you a little montage of my two favorite PC games from 2018 using all the parts shown in the video. So here's the first game I want to show you guys, which is hands down my favorite PC game right now. I don't know if you guys know about this, but ever since I was like a 4-year-old, I have loved racing games to death. So yes, I am repping. I've been in the genre for a little while, and this right here, Forza Horizon 4, is probably the best racing game I have ever played. You can do literally anything in this game. Like, yeah, so if you wanted to like go ridiculously fast for no discernible reason, you can do that. And actually, I'm gonna show you guys that right now. There we go. You see that? You see that? Can you do that in your racing game? I mean, think about it. So when it comes to choosing out your graphics card, right, you have two options. You have AMD or NVIDIA. And what a lot of people, I feel, just gloss over is they mostly look at like the general overall performance of the card and are just gonna be like, oh, it's just, this is the faster card because it runs better on the, like, out of these 12 games. And something important you gotta be able to discern is what games you wanna run. You know, like, certain games are gonna run better on AMD cards and certain games are gonna run much better on NVIDIA cards. And the thing with me was that a lot of the games that I wanted to play, including this one, are really well optimized for AMD, which is why I chose that Vega 56. I mean, I'm not super into like, you know, Fortnite or PUBG, basically games that use the Unreal Engine. It's important to know what games you want to run on your PC before choosing your components. And this game is the reason why I chose a Vega 56. I played Horizon 3, that game was fantastic. How am I drifting this? This car wasn't even meant for drifting. Oh, no. Well, basically, do your research. Oh my goodness. And I want you guys to take a guess. what graphical setting do you think this game is being run on right now on my 8-core Ryzen and Vega 56? All right, well, let's go ahead and find out. So a $330 graphics card and a $200 8-core processor. What's that gonna get you? It's gonna get you to high settings at 4K resolution. If you were even considering playing this game at 1080p with that Vega 56, don't even bother. Well, I mean, yeah, you can, but this thing can run the dang game at 4K, like for a almost high-end mid-tier graphics card. That's really impressive. And you know what? It actually beats the 1080 in this game. Anyway, so that's just a little demo of this game. There's so much more to it. There's so many other things I could show you guys that I wish I could get to. But we need to get to the next game, which is going to be one of my favorite shooters. And there you have it. I hope you enjoyed me fondling around on Forza Horizon 4 and Wolfenstein: The New Colossus. Star Wars Republic Commando, yes, that one game from 2004 would have made it into this list because that is actually my favorite game from my childhood that, yes, I still actually play to this day on BlackHawk. But you'll know I'll get copyrighted for even a hint of Star Wars music from that game, so unfortunately I had to exclude it. So yes, I'll even use my crazy $1,900 computer to play that old 15-year-old game because that's just how amazing it is. Just because you have a super fast computer does not mean you need to always play the latest and greatest AAA titles that are super graphically intensive. Play the games you enjoy. Anyways, if you enjoy PC tech videos like this, then consider subscribing to the ScatterVolt channel, where this year, me and Melly will be continuing aiming to put out more high quality videos for you guys. And as always, be sure to like, favorite, subscribe, and all that, and this is the ScatterVolt channel, signing out.